I'm still here in Tokyo dealing with the unsuccessful qualification for the Olympic Games. We are going to talk about it in the next episode. Now there is another Olympic related topic, and that's climbing conditions. The hardest routes outside are usually climbed with the perfect conditions, and that means cold and dry. But on the competitions, especially now for the World Championships and for the Olympics, we are just forced to climb with extreme heat and humidity. I can't really imagine climbing right now. And today is a pretty regular summer day in Tokyo. At least we can finally see the sea. But the fact that it's 100 meters away from the climbing venue, it's not so nice for the climbing conditions. It's gonna be humid. I'm a kind of climber who is very sensitive to the perfect conditions. I like it cold, I like it windy. I like when the cold air is felt on my bare skin, and it kind of pushes me to try even harder. It's like when I feel the perfect conditions are there, it's like I cannot fall. But when the conditions are hot, it's tough for me.
I took it from Canada, and so I actually like really cold conditions. And so I really like to be quite cold, even have a little hot water bottle to keep my hands warm. But also when I'm climbing outside, I like cool, crisp conditions. You can feel the rock is sticky and it's cold to the touch.
I quite like it relatively cold just because I tend to sweat a lot on my fingers anyway when I go outside climbing. I don't like taking, conditions as an excuse for not climbing something. I'd rather see it as a motivation if I don't climb something in bad conditions to get stronger.
Being a competitor, you got to deal with all sorts of difficulties and changing conditions. On rock, you just wait until conditions are perfect, or even come back the next day, so different challenges.
But outdoors, if you want to climb on your limit, if you want to climb the hardest route ever, I think you need the perfect conditions. At comps, I actually prefer it to be a bit warmer. I hate it when I get like numb fingers on a comp. Really windy or really dry conditions are bad for me because I tend to have really dry skin, and then I just dry fire off flat holds or cheetah holds.
Perfect conditions are very individual. In general, colder conditions provide better friction of the rock, and you don't sweat, so you don't have to choke up that much. Yet, of course, it is very individual how cold you really want to have it. Some people cannot handle temperatures less than 15 degrees. I feel pretty good in 5 degrees. For bouldering, I can climb even colder. As I said, normally I climb when it's quite cold. Olympics will be in the middle of the summer with extreme heat and humidity. This is not a TV, it's the heating. And it's a nice tool how I can simulate the extreme heat in Tokyo. Like in Tokyo in August, that's every climber's nightmare. It's like you're not supposed to climb in this weather. It's usually not even fun. It's harder to climb when it's hot and humid, but anyway, it's the same for everyone. The skin for a climber is absolutely essential. It's like using a wax for skis. It all depends how good skin you have, how much comfort you will have while holding the hold. I think I spent countless hours in my life doing that. Just thinking if my skin is just perfect. Like your skin cannot be too soft, because then you take a small crimp and it just tear your skin apart. Yet it cannot be too dry. Sometimes you feel just you can slip anytime because you have zero humidity on your fingers at all. Your skin feels like a glass. And there's a thing that works really well, and this is the sandpaper. One of the most basic things for a climber is this, sandpaper. What do we use it for? For peeling our skin. Sometimes there's just too much skin on our fingertips. Sometimes if the skin is too dry, we try to make it thinner so it feels like it has a better friction. And I always have it in my backpack. In general, the chalk is used to reduce the sweat on your fingertips. I like when the chalk is dry and just really chunky. But there is chalk which can be like really smooth, almost like a dust. But I feel the friction is not as good. If you have a chunky chalk, you cannot just dip your hand inside and take it out. You really have to play for a little bit to have some chalk on your hands. Maybe once a month, I completely empty my chalk bag and fill it up with the fresh chalk. Because I really don't like the old chalk, which is always at the very bottom. Chalk bag itself is also very important. I like my chalk being not too big, and of course I like to have it really lightweight. It shouldn't be too small, you should be able to fit the whole hand into it, including your thumb and the palm. Yet at the same time, the lighter it is, the less it kind of holds its shape. And I think this is the perfect compromise. How full should you have a chalk bag? I think like up to 1/3 or halfway up is the perfect case. For silence, I only had a few chunks of chalk in my chalk bag to reduce the weight. And for chalking up, it was pretty easy because every single chalking up I did was in a knee bar. So I took the time, took one chunk of chalk and just break it with 2 hands, like that. There's also a thing called liquid chalk. It's chalk with alcohol. You don't drink it, but you just spill a little bit on your fingertips and you wait until it's dry. It's good if you want to stop your sweat, but honestly I don't like it because I feel it doesn't have such a good friction. Konečně začíná teplo.